James is just under 9 months from his first hair transplant procedure, in which we did 2,100 and I believe 74 grafts. And if you look closely, well, you can see from the pre-op pictures, he basically had nothing at all on the top of his head. He was a class 6 hair loss pattern. And what we've been able to do, what I've been able to do with a single procedure is to establish the frontal, primarily 1/3 of his hairline area. And if you put your head down, James, if we brush these hairs back, you can see that basically all this are his transplants. And the key features that achieve a natural result are, amongst other things, is using the very finest one-hair grafts along the hairline. And I like to create these zones of thicker and thinner alternating zones to create a real natural appearance. So you can see that I go a little thicker, a little thinner, thicker, thinner, thicker, thinner. And so it's not merely a matter of just putting one-hair grafts along the hairline. It's more a matter of how we arrange these one-hair grafts in the very front, interspersed with some two-hair grafts to really create a natural-looking result, because this is the way a natural hairline is. Other things that we've done, or other things that I did, is to transplant the hairs so they grow forward, which is a more natural direction. And we've used the right combination of primarily 3 hair grafts in the center area, 2 hair grafts in what I call the transition zone, and then, as I discussed already, the 1 hair grafts for the feathering zone. What we're going to be doing on James today is a second procedure. We're going to be using his original donor site. I want to see if I can show this. You can see his original donor site incision. This is part of it. I basically went from ear to ear. James's donor density is a little bit lower than average. That also explains why I was able to do under 2,200 grafts. And sometimes with guys with class 6 hair loss patterns, I can do as many as 3,000 or 2,600 grafts. But in James's case, because his density was a little lower, because I didn't want to leave him with a donor site scar, I decided to cut back a little bit on the number of grafts. But I mean, certainly it provided him with a very nice result. And as I said, you can see his original donor site scar, or maybe you can't, but it's a very fine line, and we're going to be using that old scar we're going to be including that old scar with his procedure today with the donor strip. The goal today is to fill in the central 1/3 of James's scalp, perhaps provide him with a little bit more density in the anterior 1/3. So instead of having coverage just in the anterior 2/5 or so of his scalp, it'll be going back to like 3/5 of the way back, which will provide him with that much more coverage, and then leaving the crown area alone, because he just doesn't have the sufficient quantity of donor grafts to completely cover his whole entire class 6 hair loss pattern. And as he continues to lose more hair, which hopefully he will be a slow process, but if and when he continues to lose more hair, it'll still always look natural, the restoration that we've designed for him.